Good evening, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It is day one of the Sumo and the Kokugikon in Tokyo for the Akiba show. Everything's concluded. I've uploaded everything to the Patreon page. I'll be sharing my screen in a minute. We're going to talk about who won on day one, look at a little Juryo, but mostly the top division, and we'll look ahead to who's going to fight on day two. That's what we do here in the summary show. So if you're into that, stick around. If not, that's cool. All the matches, though, the match coverage is over on Patreon. So the bottom tier is $1 a month, and I put up 12 matches today. I went a little crazy. I didn't put up any Juryo matches yet because I feel like, it's a little too early. But well, when we get there, we'll talk about what happened in Juryo. But yeah, 12 matches from the top division out of 21. So a little bit more than half of the matches went up onto the Patreon page tonight. And let's jump into it. I need to probably get one of those if I'm going to be doing this every night at nighttime. Duh. I need to probably get one of those ring lights or something to, because it's a little dark. I understand. I'll try to see what I can do about that. Okay, so let me share, and we'll just get right into it. Hi. Uh, Terunofuji on the front cover here, but of course, I think all of you know by now from my other video and general knowledge that he has pulled out of the tournament here on day one. Nobody else pulled out on day one in the top division. And then as we discussed in the video I posted yesterday, Asanoyama and Miyogiru pulling out of the Juryo division. Um, but yeah, nobody else on day one, so that's good. So we had a full slate of matches. Let's start actually way down, just for you guys that have been around a while, way down in Jonidan, because down here, there he is, Enho. He fought today and got a win. I watched that match. It was, gosh, 10:30 a.m. Japan time, whereas, Makuuchi starts at 4 p.m. So it's really early in the day, but we'll kind of keep tabs on him, see how he's doing. Of course, he is a former top division wrestler. What was his highest rank? He went to Maigashira 4 back in the day, and he was part of Hakuho's stable. That's now, of course, here are all his stable mates. What a roster that is. He is part of Isagahama now because they merged stables. So there's his new stable designation. And yeah, just fun to see him doing well. He had a good first day matchup and had a good win. Okay, so let's jump up to we'll start with the Juryo division, second tier division. And here are some of the winners and losers. Aoyama, the Bulgarian, got a win here on day one. So good for him. He needs to get 8, I think, to stay in the top division. He's at Juryo 13. Takada Fuji back and fighting. Another Isagahama man. So I think maybe the injury that prevented him from really fighting at all in the past two basho has now mostly been healed, and he got a win here on day one against Dai Seizan, who I believe is making his debut in the top division. Let me see here. Yeah. So the debutant went up against a man who has a top division Yusho under his belt. Not a great first day opponent to face if you're Dai Seizan, but good win for Takeda Fuji. Asakoru got a nice win over Hakuyozan. Shiden won. And then Hakuoho fought Diamami, got a win. And Shishi from Ukraine beat Tamashoho. And Onosho, of course, a top division wrestler who's been as high as Senyaku, right? Yeah, he's been as high as Komusubi in his career. Finds himself down in Juryo right now at J1, but an easy win. Not an easy win, but a confident win for him over Toki Hayate. So because of Terunofuji pulling out in the top division, they did pull one Juryo man up to fight in the top division. So we started off the top division with Chiyoshoma from Juryo, another stalwart of the top division who finds himself down in Juryo this basho against Nishiki Fuji. Chiyoshoma got the win. Shirokuma in his debut in the top division against Kitsunawaka, who's making his return. Shirokuma got the win. That's on the Patreon. Takayasu, who I believe is wearing a new color Mawashi. Somebody let me know if you think I'm wrong. His signature Mawashi is like a burgundy, like a dark red. And this today he had on like a dark navy, blue Mawashi. So I think that's a new Mawashi for him. He beat Takara Fuji. Onokatsu making his debut in the top division, though, couldn't do what Shirokuma did and get the win. He lost to Ryuden in a tight match. Then we have Hokuto Fuji winning, Bushozan winning, Sadanoumi beating Kageyaki. Then we had Tamawashi, who's going to be setting records all throughout this tournament. And let's just jump over to Wikipedia and look at some of his yeah, this should take us there. Okay. So most consecutive career bouts is just total any division, Juryo, Sandamne, Makuuchi, any division, and he's had 1,628 matches in his 20-year career. And so he got 1,629 today. Tomorrow he'll tie Aobajo from 1960s and 70s with 1,630. And then on day 3, he'll pass him and go to 1,631 and be number 1 on this list, which is really impressive. And it's even made more impressive when you find, when it's most consecutive. So that means from day 1, he's never sat out. The guys with the little asterisks never have missed a bout in their entire career. And the only time Tamawashi had to sit was one time during COVID. They sat him down because of quarantine for his whole stable. He didn't have COVID, but somebody in his stable did. So he had to sit out, but they didn't count that against him. And he will go up to number 1 on this list. He's also over here, most consecutive top division bouts at 957. So you can only get 15 bouts, obviously, in a basho. So he can't pass Takutoriki this tournament, but he will in November. And of course, Takara Fuji now, his number will not go up because he had to go down to Juryo, remember? A couple basho ago. Now he's bounced back up, but that one trip down to Juryo stopped this number at 990. Or else he'd keep going up and always sort of be ahead of Tamawashi while they're both competing. But now Tamawashi has a chance to pass him and go up into the top 5 here, which are some pretty crazy numbers. He also has this number. He'll tie Kotonowaka this tournament. Not the Kotonowaka's dad, the former Sekewake from the 90s and early 2000s. At 90. And then in November, he'll tie Koto Shogiku and Akinoshima at 91. And then in January, he'll go ahead to 92 and so on. So he's got Kaio at 107 is the top there. Hakuho, the only 2 men have ever done more than 100 tournaments in the top division. So 6 times, I'm so bad at math. Okay. I'm just going to ask. Sorry for doing this. Hey, Siri, what's 100 divided by 6?
100 divided by 6 is approximately 16.6666.
Okay, so that's 16 years being in the top division when you get to 100 plus. And so these guys both were more than that. So he is on his way. It just depends how long he decides to keep wrestling. And I think he's on one other list over here somewhere. But there you go. Lots of history happening. And yeah, let's see. When did he make his... He first became a Maegashira in 2008, but see, these don't count because then he went down to Juryo. Oh, no, he's been down to Juryo a few times. So that count is just for the top division is just from here. Okay. But he hasn't been down to Juryo since 2014. So in 10 years, he's been able to stay in the top division. He, of course, has won the Yusho twice. And then of course, his total career without ever missing a match goes all the way back to here, March of 2004, which is sort of insane when you think about it. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on Tamawashi. He didn't get a win today, but I'm rooting for him to at least get Kachikoshi. And, the other honors are just passing records and stuff. And he'll do that in the course of just showing up. Ichi Yamamoto got a win over Oshoma. Endo beat Midori Fuji in a fun match. Chirano Umi beat Wakataka Kage. Maegashira 7 not having good luck on day one. Meisei beat Gonoyama. Ura beat Shona no Umi. Shodai, former Ozeki, took care of Koto Shoho. Wakamoto Haru beat Daisho in a good match on day one. The Maegashira 3, of course, wanting to stay ahead of his brother, perhaps, and get promoted back up toward M1. Takayumi beat Takakeisho. Now, of course, Takakeisho, I probably shouldn't repeat this so many times because you guys will probably get tired of me saying it, but it is day one, and so I think Takakeisho got demoted from Ozeki. He's a Sekewake. He has to get 10 wins to go back or more to go back to being an Ozeki. If he doesn't, it's just like Kirishima. He'll stay at Sekewake or even get demoted down if he doesn't get at least 8. And that will be the end of his Ozeki career for now, at least. So he didn't look good on day one. But tough opponent, Takayumi. So we'll see how he does. But, he's only got 4 more losses that he can afford. And you got to figure some of those are going to be guys like Onosato and Kotozakura and Hoshoru. So, it's a tough bounce back option, but at least he has it. Kirishima did get a win over Oho on day one. Not all the Sekewake won though, of course, because Takakeisho didn't and Abi didn't win. He lost to Tobizaru, but Onosato did get the win over Atami Fuji in a battle of the youth. And then we had our 2 Ozeki matches to finish off the day because we have no Yokozuna. Hoshoru beaten by Takenosho. And Hoshoru, when we look at his recent matches here, recent Basho, you can see he won on day one in January, and then he lost on day one in March, lost on day one in May, lost on day one in July, and now has lost on day one in September. So 4 Basho in a row where he has not won on day one. So that's concerning. He needs to find a way to maybe get the rust off or get the jitters out or whatever it is. And twice in a row to Atami Fuji, which is kind of interesting. But today it was Takanosho getting the win. So he usually bounces back. 2 out of the 3 times he's bounced back on day 2 with a win. Here was a rare time in May where he lost 2 in a row. So we'll see how he does against Daisho tomorrow. And then Kotozakura finished off in fine form against Hirada Umi. The Komusubi losing to the Ozeki in the Musubi no Ichiban. Now this will rotate. Hoshoru will be in the final match of the day tomorrow, and then back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so those are the winners and losers from day one. And like I said, 12 of those matches are now up on the Patreon. Oh, sorry. And so let's look at day 2. What do we got to look forward to tomorrow? So Shirokuma has Nishiki Fuji. Takayasu Ryuden. These guys have fought each other a bunch of times. Onokatsu has Takara Fuji in a battle of young versus old. Tamawashi has Sadanumi in a battle of old versus also old. Sadanumi actually has some kind of title for the number of bouts. It's very similar. And he actually debuted before Tamawashi. He made his debut in March of 2003, a year before, but he didn't get up into Juryo until July of 2010, where Tamawashi had already made it by 2008. And but they've both been in the top division around the same time. And has he ever jumped down? Well, let's just look. Has he been in Juryo in, say, the past couple years? Let's see. Now, he's never won a tournament, though. Yeah, he was down in Juryo in 2021 for quite a while, actually, 4 tournaments. So, but yeah, another guy that's been, wrestling for 20 plus years now, and he's a little younger than Tamawashi Sadanoumi, I think he's about 34, 35. Uh, no, he might even be older than that. No, let's just check. 87, so he's 37. Okay, so yeah. All right. Roga has Kageyaki, Endo against Ichi Yamamoto, Midori, Fuji, Oshoma, Meisei, Wakataka Kage. That's a good matchup there. Chirana Umi against Gonoyama, Ura Shodai. Usually a fun matchup there. Shonana Umi against Koto Shoho. Then we get up into our Sanyaku and above. Hirata Umi taking on Wakamoto Haru. Abi versus Mitake Umi. Oho versus Takakeisho. Kirishima versus Atami Fuji. Tobizaru Onosato. And then our final 2 matches, Kotozakura has Takanosho, both men 1-0. And Daisho, Hoshoru, both men have yet to win. So one will get his first win tomorrow. And Komusubi versus Ozeki in the final match of the day on day 2. Now I will be at school. Like I said, I think well, maybe I just said it in my coverage, so maybe I should say it here. On Mondays, I have English club. And we don't finish until 5:30. So I know I won't be home in time to watch like live sumo. But for those of you who haven't joined the Patreon yet, basically now I can use my DVR because I'm not using a Bema, and I can tape things and then find the matches I need to put up and uh, time delay my coverage. But I try to like take a picture on my phone of the matchups, and then I don't know who won or lost. So it's still kind of live to me, like I'm watching it for the first time, and I don't know who won. And so that's what I'll put up tomorrow on day 2, and try to do that every day this week while I'm at school. And then, of course, try to make this video every day around this time. What is it? It's 9:53 p.m. here in my apartment, just in my apartment. Everywhere else, it's somewhat other different time. So yeah, I can then get this posted and let you guys decide when you want to watch it. Some of you want to watch, your highlights from NHK or some other channel first. Some of you maybe jump in and watch this and decide which matches you want to watch. Knowing who won and lost, I'm not sure. But I appreciate you coming by, giving a thumbs up. Anything else did I need to go over? Oops. I don't think so. Oh, I mean, I guess I could just share really quick. Okay. So the Patreon, so there you go. It lets me pick the thumbnail now out of like the entire video, which is kind of fun. And you can see the length of time of the video. I still keep all the information pretty short and sweet. And what a scrappy match, says Barb. And there you go. Tamawashi Roga and Onokatsu Ryuden. And my day started with Shirokuma Kitanowaka. And as you go up, all the other matches. Oh, maybe I need to refresh here. Should be there. Yep. And I'm labeling them like this, 1.12. That's the 12th video of day 1. And here's the 11th video of day 1, the 10th video. To make it easier, the collections, I think, is working okay. Yeah, 12 videos in the days 1 through 5 collection. So, yep. Feel free to come on over and join if you'd like. Like I said, got a dollar tier, a 250 tier, and a $4 tier, and whatever that is in your money. And that'll get you access to all the matches. All right. So, day 2 in Juryo. Did we talk about that? Let's just see some of the big. Takeda Fuji is Kiryuko. I got to get used to that name. He's brand new. Hakuoho has Shiden. Shishi has Shimano Umi. Chiyoshoma is back down. So somebody's coming up from Juryo to fight Makuuchi. Who was it? Onosho. is fighting Kitanawaka tomorrow. Okay. Hey, that'll do it for me tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We're kicking off the bus show. I thought it was some good action today, some really good matches. So then the rest of this week, school, but then the coming weekend, 14, 15, and 16, it's a 3-day weekend in Japan. And I'd like to do a live stream. Like I can get up early on Monday because I don't have to go to work. And maybe that would be like evening in Europe on Sunday, afternoon in North America, Sunday the 15th. And we can chat about sumo. We'll be a weekend. And so we know a little bit clearer on who's doing well, see a leaderboard emerge, and have a chat about sumo. So that's a plan for this coming up weekend. Of course, if you want to do the contest, I'll put the link down in the description, and you have about 24 hours or so from when this posts to get joined into the contest. Over 600 people have joined, so that's great. And we'll send out prizes, etc. And so pick your best team of 6 guys and root for them, cheer them on, and hope that they put up some good numbers for you, and maybe you can win the contest. All right, that'll do it for me tonight. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow on day 2. Peace.